Gaming is no longer a niche, it's mainstream culture and mass market entertainment. 1 billion people playing Xbox every year. 70% of Americans play at least 1 hour every week. These are the key data that Asha Sharma shared with us on the latest Bloomberg Tech interview. At first, it seemed like Sharma was hired to burn it all down to the ground, because Xbox was and still is, as it appears, in a tragic place. In the interview, Asha said that she was surprised pretty much just as we were to receive that role in the first place.
You were a surprise pick for CEO. Phil Spencer, your predecessor, 20-year veteran, super passionate fan base. You're not a gamer, came from Instacart, Meta, Microsoft AI. Tell me about that call from Satya. How surprised were you?
Yeah, I would say no one was probably as surprised as I was when I got that call.
She came from a different industry, which was more AI-oriented, but it seems like, since she was hired, she made some clear choices. Not long ago, Xbox had its marketing campaign running called Everything is an Xbox. It was so stretched out to the extreme, to a point where they even released Crocs with Xbox logo. What the hell? So that was just mental to see how low they fall, you know? But she put a stop to it. She has also decreased the prices of their Game Pass services, and the little cherry on top, they came back to the old greenish logo they had before with a little modernized spin on it. Now it seems obvious that Microsoft sees potential in building up Xbox empire once again. The numbers stated at the beginning simply don't lie. It's crazy to live in the days where gaming is no longer a niche. It's mainstream culture and mass market entertainment. Previously a hobby for enthusiasts, now trendy and ubiquitous. Everyone games, due to a massive marketing and broader accessibility. These days outperforming films and TV in cultural reach. Game adaptations becoming major mainstream TV hits, followed Minecraft. The list goes on. And sure, the border market had a tough period during COVID. Studios struggled, some closed. Remote work, strict regulations, and lack of correspondence, the whole thing became a big experiment shift. But not all studios pulled through. It simply was a transition line, but despite turbulence, the market is rising again, and Xbox wants to be on top of that wave. They want to surf through it. The question is, how are they going to do it?
You know, usually what happens at this point in a generation is your costs come down, right? Memory, storage, etc. Well, with AI, memory and storage costs are going up 2.75x rather than 50% down. Just in my first 100 days, it's up 50%, and I think it will continue to go up. And so the biggest challenge and opportunity is how do you make affordable products during that time, and that's what the next 100 days will be about.
Asha Sharma states that innovation is necessary to keep the Xbox affordable. Otherwise, hardware costs will climb beyond what people will pay. And that's why she was hired. To evaluate that cost and quality of a product. Xbox has to still be accessible to the massive market audience. Otherwise, people will decide to switch to a different ecosystems like Sony or Nintendo or even Valve for that matter. And I'm just going to be direct with you. The hardware pricing pressure is linked to AI bubble. Every few weeks there is a new module, new technology introduced in the AI field.
It's one of those things when we're all every day working on AI, it's hard to see past it, right? We started with a model launching every 6 months, and now it was launching every 6 weeks and every 6 hours in some cases. And
so the market is constantly growing, but it's also devouring the environment. And I mean it literally. There are power plants built on foundation of soil that was used for farming. Water is being poisoned, but it also impacts our gaming world, and the prices of computing components that are needed to build the console are used to improve and build AI systems. That's why RAM, for example, is so expensive these days. So it's clear people are pissed. Everyone's pissed on AI, and for a reason, because no one, literally no one among normal people like me or you asked for this technology. So why are they doing it in the first place? Well, Americans need it. And the reason is simple. They need a new technological innovation on a massive scale to solve their economic crisis and keep the hegemon power in the global politics. And as always, we'll bear the fruits of our elites' doings. Life ain't fair, but if you're interested in this sort of political subjects, then you're invited to join my second channel, Escape from Matrix, on which I discuss topics like this on a monthly basis. Anyway, I digress a bit. But Asha Sharma was asked if Microsoft will not just abandon Xbox and move the funds to other assets, to which she replies,
There's this idea that Microsoft wants to sort of extract software kind of revenues out of the gaming business, which may not be possible. Do you have more breathing room when it comes to the financials?
Yeah, so my mandate is not 30% accountability margin. It's not enterprise software margins. It's to be the #1 gaming and entertainment company, and that's what we're going to go do. So look, the console market is stable and it's core to who we are, but at the same time, there's a lot of other growing markets. And so we're certainly going to continue to put out great reference experiences, but we're also going to push into new spaces. Microsoft owns Windows. Windows is one of the largest gaming platforms in the world. It has long had more players and more hours than any other platform, and I think it's going to have a lot of dollars associated with that in the future too.
Anyway, Windows is also potentially in a big trouble, even if the owners don't realize. Linux is evolving. It's getting better day by day, and a huge company, such as Valve, is in tight cahoots with this open OS software, which means if Steam Machine will perform well, players will finally have an alternative for Windows. And so many of them, including myself, are just pissed at Microsoft because the changes done in Windows 11 are not what we would expect from this company. When asked about Nintendo, however, Asha stated that their cooperation with Asus is fruitful, and they keep on going in the sector with a clearance that gaming at home is their priority. ROG Xbox Ally is a handy console. I bought it recently, and it runs smooth. It's comfortable, and although it's not meant for all types of games, some of them are preferable in my eyes on handheld. Games like Hollow Knight, Silksong, Hades 2, or even Crash Bandicoot are just far better when they're played in your own hands. Nintendo opened that box, and I don't think it's a trend that will go away. Xbox has a solid foundation in that segment, on which they can improve, so we'll judge her and her team on the actions they will take further. Later, the discussion comes in a circle to AI and killing Copilot on Xbox. Sharma states it was a team decision, but in my eyes, it's just a PR move. Players and overall people hate AI in art, including games. They're going to kill it, to get into the players' favors. There was no use for Copilot in gaming as of right now, so the choice was simple. Why would they spend money on it in the first place? The whole interview ends on a rather sad note, in which Asha Sharma states, "We're in a decline. The next 100 days will be spent on changing that course." She's pretty much accepting the reality as it is, and so should we. Xbox future is uncertain, but they're looking for the answers in the right place. They hired new staff, new people with a new vision to help get this ship back on track. They're still second biggest publisher in the world. People demanded changes, and they're delivering it.
I think it's a tough topic. Look, we're the #2 publisher in the world, and in order to be a great publisher, you must have your games reach large audiences to play. At the same time, we're increasingly becoming a platform. In order to be a platform, you must have exclusive content and services. And so we're looking at that very closely. I think that we have to be very thoughtful about each title on how we want to think about it and learn from similar cases in the industry, and that's what we're doing.
We'll hopefully learn much more on Xbox Showcase today. It starts at 6 PM BST, and I honestly cannot wait. Asha said they're doing everything in their power to revive Xbox. Well, we'll see what they're going to present on that day. It's been hyped out to be the biggest presentation yet. Gears of War supposed to make an appearance. So, they've got a lot to prove. One thing that worries me though is her take on exclusivity. They are not fully rolling out exclusives. They may be hunting for a gold formula, and since the PlayStation is closing their own ecosystem they build, Xbox might want to do the same thing. There are some constraints to that. Some titles like Call of Duty likely cannot be pulled from Sony stores due to legal commitments. But a return to the old exclusivity era might not be that unrealistic, but it definitely would be a bad thing for the consumers. It might help to build console sales, but creating this ecosystem reduces access and fragments players. Innovation is good. Reversing into exclusivity isn't. Thank you for tuning in. As always, feel free to leave a thumb up, subscribe, and follow. Tell me what you think about all this. Till the next time, peace.